Hi, Greg Papora with Home Heritage. You know, a lot of the videos that you see on YouTube and the DIY shows show craftsmen working with, this high premium wood, sapoli, mahogany, cherry. But you know what? I like using reclaimed lumber. So I want to take the opportunity to show you what can be done with deck wood. You know, people contact me when they're taking their decks down, and I'll take pieces that look good and I'll make things out of it. I've made a few things. I've made potting stands. I've made compost bins. I've made planters. There's a lot of things you can do, and people will buy them if it's solid, it looks good, and it's priced right. So follow me as I'm going to make a bench with some deck wood, old deck wood that I got. See, this is what my lumber storage looks like. Most of that is pressure treated lumber that I got off of old decks. There's actually some old doors in there and some plywood. So this is what I use. So what you're seeing here is the back of the bench already completed. So now you're going to see me just cutting the pieces, the various pieces for the bench. And I just speeded this up. So I cut the two front legs, which are 2 feet. And now I'm going to lay out the side slats that are going to accept the seats, actually. And I want to curve it a little bit so that it's comfortable sitting down. So what I did is I cut the two sides with 16¼ inch pieces. So what I want to do to lay that out is find the middle, which is 8 1/8 inch. Once I find that middle, I'm going to go down 1 inch from the center. Mark that. And since each of the seating slots are going to be 2½ inches, I'm going to measure 2½ inches from each side. So now what I'll do is I'm going to draw a line from that 2½ inch mark right up to the corner on each end. I know it's going to be straight. What I'll do is after I draw it and cut it on the bandsaw, I'm going to use my sander to kind of smooth it out and make it more of a curve. I'm going to use some double-sided tape to glue these two together so that I can do them at the bandsaw both at the same time so I get an accurate, even cut. So my battery died, so I wasn't able to show you the bandsaw operation, but basically I just followed the lines and I cut just proud of the lines, and then I took it to my oscillating sander and just sanded it down to the lines and tried to make it as rounded as I could. Now the next step is going to be attaching the side seat supports to the main part of it, and for that I'm going to use floating tenons. And I'm going to make those floating tenons, or I'm going to line them up using my Beadlock Pro. If you want to know more about this piece, I did another video and I'll have a link for that below. 1/2 inch tenon on this. So I simply line up my piece to drill a series of holes. There'll be 3 holes that I'll drill in here, and then 3 holes in the base of the bench, and then I'll join it together using my floating tenon.
Okay, just 3 more of these to do. So, as frequently happens when you're doing woodworking, you don't anticipate something. So, I did my drilling for the floating tenons. When I went to drill into the bench, I realized because of the cross beam and for the back, I couldn't fit the jig over this piece to get the lineup that I needed. So I had to do it kind of freehand. So hopefully that works out. But in order to do the second one, I think I'm going to have to switch to my Craig jig and do pocket screws for that side. So the side support slats that we rounded out, now I can't use the beadlock system on the one side because I can't straddle the back because of the back posts. So I'm going to put dowels in. So I've lined up my dowel holes, and I'm going to drill using this dowel max and line it up and drill for my dowels. I just cut my front rail to support the slats, 4 feet 10 inches long. Now I'm going to drill some pocket holes in here to attach them to the sides. So here's the completed bench. Came out pretty well, just needs some paint. But you know, this is not so much a video about building a bench or how to build a bench as it is to show you that you can take trash and turn it to treasure. I can paint that bench and I can sell it for maybe 50 bucks. The material cost was minimal. The wood was free. It's just the screws that I used or the paint, the amount of paint that I use is really my only expense on it. Of course, my time. So just keep it in mind that you don't always have to be working with premium wood on premium machines to get your woodworking going. By the way, I did add a cut list down below so that you can see what materials are used to make the bench. So good luck to you and happy hunting.